The story of evolution is the story of innovation, of adaptation, of big ideas growing out of small beginnings and flowering into breakthroughs. Breakthroughs which would not have been possible were it not for the right environment, the right time and place for growth and discovery, because the mind only grows as far as its limits. So what happens when there are no limits to the spirit of discovery, where the environment is designed to give people room to expand their minds and innovate? Like Glenmark, one of India's leading research-driven pharmaceutical companies. Building a global pharmaceutical business, coupled with original research in new drug discovery, have been the drivers for Glenmark's growth since the turn of the century. To help achieve this vision, Glenmark has been expanding its focus to span the pharmaceutical value chain. Today, we are present across the globe in branded generic and generic formulations, generic APIs, along with which we have built one of India's leading drug discovery pipelines. The formulations business that covers both branded generic and generic models spans over 70 countries including India and is the largest business area for Glenmark. The formulations business is served by over 2,500 professionals and includes over 100 ethical formulations that cover several therapeutic segments including dermatology, female healthcare, lifestyle diseases, pediatrics, anti-infectives and respiratory medicine. The formulations business also has an established sales and distribution front end in the highly regulated US market and is already marketing several generic products. Glenmark has invested in state-of-the-art facilities for formulation, R&D and production. We have 2 research centers and 3 manufacturing plants in India and 1 plant in Brazil. These facilities have received regulatory approvals from some of the world's most stringent authorities, including the US FDA, MCC, ANVISA and TPD. Active pharmaceutical ingredients are the building blocks of a pharmaceutical industry. Manufacturing bulk drugs is the second part of our business portfolio. Apart from being a growing profitable business, making bulk drugs also offers a vertical integration and cost leadership opportunity in formulations. Our footprint covers over 45 markets globally and includes business relations with leading manufacturers of generic formulations. We have vast facilities in Ankleshwar, Kurkumbh and Solapur to manufacture intermediates and APIs. Our US FDA approved plant at Ankleshwar is spread over 55 acres. The API business unit is geared towards launching around 20 new products every year. The third critical part of our business model is, of course, new drug discovery, which is the focus of our original research and development efforts. For the last 5 years, our drug discovery team has been focused on the 2 broad areas of inflammation and metabolic disorders and have built a strong understanding in these areas. In fact, Glenmark's cutting-edge R&D efforts have yielded several breakthroughs that could redefine the standard of therapy for specific indications. For instance, the inflammatory program has yielded Oglimilast, a PDE4 inhibitor for asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, which is currently in phase 2 trials in the US. A second molecule from the metabolic disorders program, GRC8200, a DPP4 inhibitor for type 2 diabetes, which will enter a phase 2 trial in the US shortly. A third molecule, GRC10389, a CB1 receptor antagonist for obesity, is in preclinical trials and is expected to enter phase 1 by the second quarter of 2006. Glenmark has several other programs for metabolic disorders and inflammation that are expected to yield 1 lead candidate per year starting from 2006. Over the years, we have consciously invested in building skills spanning the entire discovery space, ranging from medicinal chemistry, in vitro and in vivo biology, toxicology, kinetics, and pharmacodynamics. We also have a clinical research unit at Navi Mumbai in compliance with Indian and international regulatory guidelines. With the setting up of our biologics lab in Neuchâtel, Switzerland, we have also spearheaded our entry in the fast-evolving area of biopharmaceutical research. You could say these centers of cutting-edge research are Glenmark's temples of knowledge and discovery. There is a tide in the affairs of men which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. For the man leading Glenmark, that tide is here and now, and he's taking on the challenge. Isn't that right, Glenn?
Well, the global pharma industry is going through a number of changes, and various companies are pursuing different business models. However, we at Glenmark are very confident that our research efforts and our global expansions will pay us huge dividends.
So, what is the strategy for future growth?
Well, in the short run, our entire game plan is to increase our market expansion and globalization. In the long run, we think our focus on NCEs, whatever comes out of our pipeline, we would partner out with for US, Europe, Japan with various multinationals and keep the rest of the world rights with us and actually launch product on our own label in these markets.
But how will you actually deliver on this strategy?
Well, our deals on Oglimilast with both Forest and Tejan have been landmark deals for India as well as Glenmark. That clearly demonstrates our capabilities in the research environment. Besides that, we are working aggressively on increasing our global presence, and we think we will eventually be able to launch product in various markets across the globe. The most important thing for Glenmark is our people. We've consistently kept focusing on people, making sure we get the best talent, the right talent, and we do a great job at retaining them and making sure they're happy.
It's a strategy that's showing results as Glenmark expands into markets across the world, from Europe to the Americas to Central Asia and Africa. Setting the pace for drug discovery, growing market share, expanding the limits of science and healthcare. Beyond the expected.